Welcome to my channel. There's a kind of silence that says more than words ever could. She hasn't called. She hasn't reached out, but something feels off. The truth is, some women don't admit when they miss you. Not to you, not even to themselves. But they show it in little ways. The way they check your profile and the hesitation before they speak, and the emotional weight behind their silence. In this video, we'll explore the hidden signs she's missing you more than she admits. How a calm, grounded man can recognize these quiet signals without needing to chase, question, or beg. Let's get into it. Number 1, her silence has an echo. Her silence has an echo. Haven't heard from her in days. No text, no call, not even a reaction to your last story. At first, it might seem like she's moved on, like she's unbothered, but let's not be fooled. That silence, it's not peace, it's noise, it's not distance, it's strategy. Because here's what she's really doing. Waiting for you to crack. Waiting for you to feel the tension enough to reach out first. She wants you to fold before she does, to carry the emotional weight. She doesn't want to admit she's feeling. But here's where most men go wrong. They misread the silence as rejection, not as reflection. They assume she's over it when in reality, she's pacing emotionally, debating whether to give in or hold out longer. And often that silence isn't because she's healed. It's because she hopes you'll break the silence first, so she doesn't have to risk vulnerability. But a Stoic man doesn't flinch. He knows that silence has layers. Sometimes it is distance, sometimes it's pride, and sometimes it's longing disguised as strength. So he doesn't panic. He doesn't rush in to rescue her from hero and emotional games, because he understands a timeless truth. Not Alcelance's absence. Sometimes it's an invitation to see who holds the frame when nothing is said. Take a moment and imagine her in that silence. She picks up her phone, scrolls through old pictures, opens your chat, and leaves it blank. She watches your story and quickly swipes away before you see her name in the views. She tells her friends she's fine, but deep down, she's wondering if you've already moved on. And when you don't text, when you don't chase, that silence grows louder in her own mind. It echoes, it questions. It starts to say things she won't dare say out loud. Did he forget me? Why hasn't he checked in? Does he really not care more? You see, when you don't chase, you become the mirror. You let her see herself, and in that reflection, she sees the contrast. She remembers your fort, your presence, your calm. And now she's met with your absence, not as punishment, but as consequence. That's where the Stoic power lies. Not in coldness, but in clarity. Marcus Aurelius taught that a man's peace must not depend on the behavior of others. So you stay rooted. You stay calm. You allow her silence to be her own lesson, not something you rescue her from. And here's the unexpected twist. It's that very silence she used to test your strength comes the weight that reminds her of your value. Not because you chased, but because you didn't. So don't break the silence just to ease the tension. Let it stretch. Let it speak. Because if she truly misses you, and she'd probably doze more than she'll ever admit, your silence will echo through her thoughts louder than any message you could send. And when she does reach out, it won't be because you gave in. It'll be because your stillness made her realize she's the one who lost her calm, not you. Number 2, she watches without saying. Ash watches without saying a word. She won't message you, but she's watching your stories, liking old posts, hovering just enough to stay close without being obvious. This isn't coincidence. It's curiosity. It's quiet craving. You post a simple photo, nothing flashy, just you out, with friends, focused on your life, doing your thing, and somehow within hours, her name appears in the viewers list again. And if you've seen this pattern, you know what I'm talking about. It's not just one view, it's every story. Sometimes she even lingers, maybe accidentally liking something from weeks ago, then quickly unliking it. But it's too late. The signal's been sent. She's thinking about you, even if she can't bring herself to say it out loud. Now here's where a Stoic man separates himself from the rest. Most men would take this digital breadcrumb as an invitation to reconnect. They'd interpret her silent attention as a cry for engagement, and they'd rush in, texting her, asking how she's been, trying to reopen a connection that might no longer serve them, but not you. You understand the power of stillness. Like Marcus Aurelius said, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. You don't react to her online presence with neediness. You don't treat her attention like a trophy. You observe it for what it is: emotion dressed in silence, interest wrapped in pride. She may be messing you, but her ego won't let her reach out. She may regret how things ended, but she's not ready to admit it. Instead, she watches from a distance, hoping you'll notice. Hoping maybe you'll break the silence so she doesn't have to. But you don't? Not out of spite, but out of strength. You let her feel the weight of your absence. You let her peace do the talking. And that, my friend, is where your value becomes undeniable. You've become a presence she can't ignore. Even in your silence, you're nurturing to win her back. You've already won something greater, your self-respect. So let her watch. Let her wonder. Let her feel the quiet ache of missing Sumin, who no longer needs to be chased. That's the kind of man who doesn't just attract attention. He earns lasting respect. If that resonated with you, even just a little, don't keep it to yourself. Go ahead and tap that like button. And if you've ever experienced something similar, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Was there a moment you realized her silence was actually saying everything? Or just typing, not chasing? Just growing to let us know you're still with us. Because up next, we're diving even deeper into the quiet signals. The kind that don't show up in texts, but in timing, tension, and truth. Let's keep going. Her friends suddenly act different. Number 3. Her friends suddenly act different. Ever notice how your mutual friends mention her more often these days? Maybe they say things like, "She was talking about that movie you two saw," or "Shisked if you still go to that coffee place." It might seem casual, like passing comments, but it's not random, it's deliberate. She's still thinking about you, still wondering how you're doing, still checking in, just not directly. Instead of sending a message herself, she uses those around. You too do the talking for her. It's like she's trying to get a read on you without risking her pride. And that's the subtle power of emotional absence. When a woman misses you, but can't bring herself to admit it, she sends feelers through others. She might ask mutual friends questions about you, hoping they'll pass the info along. She might even encourage them to bring up her name, just to see how you react. She wants to know if you're still open, still hurt, still waiting, or if you've truly let her go. This is her silent way of reaching out, masked as coincidence. Marcus Aurelius Mindus, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should. Be own. And in this moment, being that man means not reacting to her games, even if they're subtle or sweet. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't need to ask mutual friends questions back. You don't need to send a message hoping it reaches her. Your silence is enough. Your peace is loud. To feel this space you've created. It's a space where you no longer orbit her emotions. Because when a man detaches not out of bitterness, but out of clarity, it shakes something in her. She may not say it aloud. She may never send that message, but her friends will keep talking. Her curiosity will keep growing, and her heart will wrestle with the truth she thought she could avoid. She's willing to admit, and the more you remain composed, the more that quiet longing grows. So stay still. Let her wonder. Let your strength echo through every silent response, every unanswered question, every calm nod when her name comes up.
Stoic hour.
Not loud, not desperate, just undeniable. She brings up inside jokes out of nowhere. Number 4. She brings up inside jokes out of nowhere. Out of the blue, she texts you a song, a meme, or something random you two used to laugh about. That's not small talk. That's her way of revisiting comfort. It's like emotional time travel. Without having to admit she misses you outright. Maybe it's the way you both used to laugh at a silly phrase, or that one scene from a show that only you two thought was hilarious. When she brings that up now, it's not because she suddenly remembered. It's because she's been thinking about you more than she's letting on. This is her quiet way of knocking on the door without making it obvious she wants to comb back in. It's subtle, almost innocent on the surface, but underneath it's layered with emotion. She's searching for a response, hoping you'll pick up the thread and pull her closer without either of you having to say what's really going on. Here's where Stoicism gives you clarity. Just because a Somion revisits the past doesn't mean you're obligated to follow them there as a Stoic man. You understand that you can honor the memory without becoming a prisoner of it. You can feel the warmth of the moment without rekindling the fire that once burned you. Emotions come and go like waves. But your peace, that's rooted deep, that's untouchable unless you give it away. She might be clinging toe fragments, tossing out these jokes as bait, hoping they'll make you reach out, reopen the bond, give her the reassurance she's too proud to ask for directly. You don't need to toe-to-code every message. You don't need to chase breadcrumbs back to where you've already grown past. Let her sit with those memories. Let her miss the version of you that made her laugh, that knew her better than anyone else. And while she's dwelling on what was, you keep focusing on what is and what will be. Because if she truly wants to be part of your future, it's going to take more than nostalgic texts and familiar jokes. It's going to talk a honesty humility, and the kind of effort that isn't hidden behind humor. Her energy shifts when you're around number 5. Her energy shifts when you're around. You run into her, or maybe just happen Tobe in the same space, and suddenly everything changes. She was laughing with her friends a second ago, but now she's a little quieter, more guarded, or the opposite. She becomes overly chatty, speaking faster, laughing louder. Mackingser, you hear her. That sudden shift isn't coincidence. It's the emotional static she tries to mask when your presence reminds her of everything she thought she'd buried. Or maybe she starts adjusting her hair, her clothes, subtle signs, off self-awareness. Eyes glance at you, then dart away like they touched fire. You can feel it in the air, a charge that wasn't there before. And here's what most men miss. When a woman is truly over you, she's relaxed. Her energy is stable, indifferent. But when she's still emotionally tied to you, whether she admits it or not, her body will speak truth. Her lips won't. Let me give you an example. A man I know walked into a party where his ex happened to be. They hadn't spoken in months. She was fine before he arrived, mingling easily. But the moment she saw him, she started hovering near the snackable, nervously laughing at conversations that didn't need her input. She kept glancing his way, actingus if she didn't notice him. But her energy was loud, loud with discomfort, loud with unresolved emotion. That wasn't confidence. It was tension dressed as indifference. But here's where your stoic edge comes in. You don't react. You don't flinch. You don't mirror her nervousness or fall into the trap of needing to make things easier for her. A stoic man doesn't chase peace externally. He carries it within. You don't shrink to make her more comfortable, and you don't puff up to show you've moved on. You remain centered because your value isn't Tito, her reaction. It's rooted in your discipline, Marcus Aurelius said, but like the cliff against which the waves continually break. But it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. That's what you are when her presence becomes a storm of supersede emotion. You don't become the storm, you become the calm. And here's the truth she'll feel but not say. Your grounded presence will haunt her more than any attention you could give. Because when she sees you composed, when she's sensio of let go without bitterness, when she realizes you don't need anything from her to be whole, that's when Thuid of missing you quietly crashes down on her. Now, before we move forward, take a moment to sit with what we just explored. These subtle shifts in her energy aren't random. Reflections of an emotional current still flowing beneath the surface. So, let me ask you, have you ever noticed? A woman acting differently the moment you entered the room. Did you feel that and spoke intention? If so, drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear a story. Or if you felt that shift but chose to remain calm, simply type, I stayed grounded. Silence may have spoken louder than anything you could have said, let's keep going. The next sign might just confirm what your instincts have been telling you all along. Number 6. She gets jealous subtly. She gets jealous subtly. You post a photo with another woman. Maybe it's innocent, just a group shot. Or maybe it's you at dinner, smiling, relaxed, with someone she's never seen before. Or maybe there's no woman at all. Maybe you just look different lately. Your energy is stronger. Your eyes are focused. You've been working out, building, glowing differently. Then suddenly, she reacts. At first, it's subtle. A story with a cryptic caption, something like, "Some people are easy to replace." Or, "Funny how quickly people move on." Or she posts a selfie that screams, "Look at me. I'm unbothered." But you can feel it. It's a response. Then maybe she goes quiet, stops liking your posts, doesn't reply to your story when she usually would. It's not apathy. It's ego mixed with emotion. That strange cocktail that only jealousy brews. But here's the thing. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not playing a game. You're simply living. You're honoring your process. Yet, your peace, your stillness, your unapologetic glow. It pokes at something in her because, deep down, she assumed you'd still be stuck, still checking her stories, still trying to decode her mixed signals. And now you're not. You're focused, calm, and surprising latticed. And that's what unsettles her. Stoic man doesn't provoke jealousy for validation. He doesn't post with the intention of making someone feel small, but he also doesn't shrink himself to avoid reactions. He allows others to feel what they feel while staying grounded in his own purpose. He understands that her jealousy isn't his responsibility, but it is a signal that somewhere beneath her silence and pride, there's longing, confusion, maybe even regret. You don't need to respond. You don't need to prove anything. Just keep walking your path with quiet strength. Because when a woman starts reacting like this without ever saying your name, it's one of the clearest signs she's missing you more than shed mitts. And you're not seeking her attention anymore. You're seeking your own peace. That's the very thing that's making her miss you even more. Number 7. Her emotions come in waves. Her emotions come in wave-shot and cold. Friendly, then distant. She's emotionally inconsistent, and thought's a signal. She misses you, but she's fighting it. She wants you close, but her pride is stronger than her honesty. One moment she's liking your posts, sending you a funny reel, or asking how you've been. The next shit's withdrawn, ignoring your messages, or acting indifferent when she sees you. That inconsistency isn't random. It's emotional residue. Her heart still echoes your presence, even if her ego won't admit it. When a woman is trolling over a man, she doesn't send mixed signals. She becomes emotionally flat. There's no curiosity, no subtle reach, no spark hiding. Beneath the surface, Batuan, she's still holding on. When your absence is quietly haunting her, you'll feel it in her unpredictability. The confusion isn't yours to solve, and thoughts where your strength is tested. This is where your stoicism becomes your anchor. You don't react to her emotional storms. You don't get pulled into the tide of uncertainty. You recognize that their behavior reflects an internal battle, one you didn't start and one you'd not finish. For her, a stoic man doesn't personalize emotional waves that belong to him. He doesn't mistake her temporary warmth as a green light, nor her sudden coldness as rejection. He sees both as weather passing, shifting, and outside of his control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, buto your estimate of it." So, when she swings between affection and distance, you don't chase or beg for consistency. You don't try to decode every word or silence. Instead, you stand still in your truth. You remain grounded in your values, not her validations. Because if she's missing you more than she admits, those waves will eventually crash into the wall of your calm. And when when she finally tires of her own confusion, she'll either find Thackeraj to be clear or fade quietly. You're at peace. Not because gave you closure, but because you never gave up your self-respect to wait for it. Let her emotions come and go. Let her wrestle with what she feels. That's her journey. Yours is to hold your frame and build. A life so full and focused that her absence no longer feels like a loss, but a lesson. Number 8. She mirrors your moves. She mirrors your moves she posts when you post. Goes silent when you do. Gets into the hobbies you once loved. This isn't random, it's a mirror. She's trying to feel connected with, reaching out at that mirror. It's her silent confession. She may not be ready to say, "I miss you," but her behavior reveals more than her lips ever will. Think about it. You started running again, focusing on your body, your health, your mindset, and now suddenly she's posting gym selfies or quitting Stoic lines about self-control. You pulled back from the digital world, and suddenly she's nowhere to be seen online. Start going out more, building your circle, and like clockwork, she begins to show off that she's living her best life. But the toming isn't just interesting. It's emotionally loaded. When someone mirrors you like this, it's rarely about coincidence. It's about longing rapid in subtlety. Her actions say, I still feel you, but I don't know how to approach you anymore. She's hoping you'll notice her. Without her having to step into the vulnerability of direct communication, pride holds her back. Ego whispers, don't break first. So instead, she plays the reflection game, matching your light, hoping it'll catch your attention. But here's the difference between you and the average man, you see. The game, and you don't play it because you've learned to master yourself. A Stoic doesn't react just to prove he's noticed. He doesn't need to jump at shadows of affection. He observes without attachment. He leads by being well, by being centered. Not in response to her movements, but rooted in his own purpose. She's mirroring you because your energy has become a compass. You've grounded yourself in a deeper clarity. And whether she admits it or not, she's still emotionally orbiting around you. And yet, the Stoic man doesn't take the bait. He doesn't need to post for a reaction. He doesn't update his life online for her to see. His life is real, lived offline, insolence, and strength. He doesn't chase signals. He builds substance. That's the power of detachment. That's the strength of a man who no longer needs to be needed. You're not cold, you're clear, you're not playing hard to get, you're just hard to shake, because you've stepped playing the emotional chess game. You've chosen peace, growth, direction, and ironically that very stillness, that refusal to dance with the past, is what makes her keep looking in your direction. Mirror reflects a man she still misses more than she ever admit at, and deep down, she's hoping he'll turn around. But you walk forward, not to leave her behind, but to stay loyal to the man you've become. And that is what keeps her watching. She mentions you indirectly, number 9. She mentions you indirectly. She says she saw a show you liked. She brings up something that reminded her of you. These breadcrumbs are disguised adamas to reconnect without vulnerability. And here's what you need to understand, brother. When a woman brings you up out of nowhere, especially in subtle, roundabout ways, it's rarely random. She might mention a song you used to play. She might say, I passed by that taco place you loved. Even though there's no real reason to bring it up, maybe she tells mutual friends something like, I saw that movie he always talked about. It's just loud enough that word eventually gets back to you. These are no accidents. They're signals masked as memories. She's reaching out carefully, indirectly, because she's feeling your absence. But her pride isn't ready to admit it. And this is where your discipline matters most. A Stoic man doesn't chase hints. He doesn't respond to emotional fishing. Lines tossed in his direction. Instead, he observes quietly with the calm awareness of someone who knows his worth. He doesn't need to bite the bait because he understands that when someone truly values connection, they'll come forward with intention, not just nostalgia. See, when a man is grounded in his peace, he's not shaken by what could be or what might have been. He lives in clarity, not confusion. He doesn't feed on emotional leftovers or romantic ambiguity. If she misses you deeply and genuinely, she won't keep hiding behind memories or vague references. One day, she'll either step forward and speak from the heart, or she'll keep dropping echoes into the wind, hoping you respond. But the Stoic man, he doesn't reply to echoes. He listens. Buff doesn't move unless it's real. You might smile at the mention of an old joke. You might remember the way her eyes lit up when she teased you about that show, but you don't let it pull you back. You don't interpret crumbs as a full course invitation because you'll reenact. It's the man who needs closure through cryptic signs. You are. The man hope comes the clarity others seek. So when she brings you up without really saying what she feels, remember this. Silence is powerful, but so is restraint. Let her feel your absence fully. Let her confront what she's trying to avoid. Wouldn't fill in the blanks. You let her realize she either has to speak or stay in the uncertainty she created. That's not cold. It's composed. And that composure, that quiet strength, that's sexically what she feels when she thinks of you. That's what she's missing more than, she admits. Her pride is louder than her feelings. Number 10. Her pride is louder than her feelings. She won't admit she misses you. Her pride's in the way, but if you look closely, her timing, her reactions, her hesitation, they all tell a different story. She might not say your name, but she dances around your memory. She posts something vague that mirrors a conversation you once had. She suddenly becomes active right after you do. Maybesh accidentally runs into your friends or brings up a place you both use Togo. And when someone mentions you, her smile fades for just a second. That's not indifference. That's pride trying to shield a heart that still feels. Yuzi, A woman who's moved on completely doesn't need to prove anything. Shadow scent linger in your orbit or monitor your presence. But when she's missing you more than she's willing to admit, her actions betray her mask. Her pride beckons a wall, not to keep you out, but to keep herself from crumbling in front of you. She wants to appear strong, unaffected, untouchable. Yet, her energy tells the real story, and that story is this. She still feels you even in your absence. Now, this is where your stoicism becomes your compass. You don't chase her down for explanations. You don't break your silence just to satisfy curiosity. A stoic man understands the nature of emotion. It rises, it falls, and it retrievals itself when least expected. You don't need to extract confessions or cling to half-truths. You stand still, grounded, because the man who Eisencord in peace doesn't fear being misunderstood. He lets time unravel what words cannot. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it." So instead of being disturbed by her silence, her distance, or her confusing behavior, choose to remain unmoved. Let her pride do what it needs to do, and let your stillness reflect the strength she never expected. Because here's the truth. A woman's pride is louder than her feelings. The man who remains calm, composed, and detached becomes even louder in her mind. Your peace becomes her reminder, your absence, her echo chamber. You don't need to rush in to explain, to fix, or to win her over. You've already made your statement by letting go without bitterness, by walking away without drama, and by continuing your journey with purpose. She may not say it out loud, not today, maybe not ever, but in her quiet moments when no one's watching, she remembers Sui. It's not because you begged for her attention, but because you refused to beg at all. So, what have we uncovered here? The lesson is simple but powerful. Conclusion: just because someone isn't speaking doesn't mean they've stopped feeling. And just because you're not reacting docent, mean you've stopped caring. But silence, the right kind of silence, can become the strongest message of all. A message of self-respect, of emotional strength, of inner peace. So, if anything in this video struck a chord with you, if you've ever seen the quiet signs, the subtle glances, the changes in energy and timing, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your story in the comments. Your presence here matters, and I want this to be a space where men can reflect, grow, and support each other in strength, not desperation. And, hey, if you found value in this message, don't forget to tap that like button. It helps more than you know. Subscribe for more videos like this, where we dive deep into the quiet truths most people miss. Finally, check out their accompanied videos on screen now. Each one is packed with more insight to help you stay grounded, evolve with purpose, and protect your peace. Thanks for watching, and remember, true strength isn't in how loudly you speak, but in how calmly you stand.